Hey, how you doing? This is Adam Post. Hollywood is facing its first major job category replacement, and it's going to start in 2025. And this is the first one, but it's going to keep rolling out and rolling out and rolling out until all their jobs are replaced. If you're a writer, or you're an actor, or you're an artist, or a camera guy, the jobs are going to get replaced. Now, they may not all get replaced, and they may not all get replaced right away. But take a look at what they're doing to visual effects. From The Wrap, an AI wave will sweep through Hollywood's visual effects systems in 2025. Generative AI systems like Runway are on the threshold of being ready for major studios to use, according to experts. And where they do visual effects, you know animation is right behind there, and it's not going to stop at animation either. Hollywood is in the early stages of an artificial intelligence overhaul that will change the entire movie-making process. In 2025, that wave could begin to sweep through a sector that is vital to the blockbusters that keep the film industry going: visual effects. Experts and AI developers tell The Wrap that generative AI programs could be just months away from advancing to a level that would enable studios to apply them throughout their visual effects production systems. So they take the existing systems and they incorporate AI into those systems. That could have stark implications for the visual effects labor pool both in Los Angeles and around the world. Runway AI can't produce 4K resolution keyframes just yet. However, AI is advancing at such a rapid clip that Eric Weaver, director of virtual and adaptive production at USC Entertainment Technology Center, predicts that the software could be capable of producing 2K resolution images by the end of 2025. Making Runway's suite of AI packages even more enticing to producers and filmmakers that are already using it in their post-production processes. Quote, "I had about 80 shots in my last short, Europa, and about 12 of them we looked at for AI. And instead of needing a team of 2 or 3 people working 3 or 4 months, I could get it done in a couple of hours." If you can do the work in any task of a few people that would take a few months in a couple of hours, it's gonna happen. With the wave of new AI platforms introduced in 2024, Hollywood is bracing for the transformation of a range of production processes that could impact the overall economics of film and TV production. It's gonna make the cost go down. That's how it's gonna impact the economics. While Hollywood studios are still determining how the technology will best fit into their production pipelines, experts tell The Wrap that once it's capable of automating enough tasks, the lists of visual effects workers, which can sometimes exceed 1,000 in the credits of a major film or TV series like House of the Dragon, could be cut by 80% or more. In animation, it's being predicted they'll need about 90% less animators to do an animated film. All of this has made AI a highly sensitive subject in a section of the film industry that's still trying to unionize, even as visual effects artists race to adapt to what they expect will be a rapidly shrinking job market. Quote, "I've been in visual effects since the early 1990s, and I've never seen anything grow this fast and be utilized so quickly," according to one veteran visual effects coordinator who told us to The Wrap. Speaking on the condition of anonymity, they continued and said, quote, "And the hard thing is, this AI thing is happening no matter what. So for the people who want to keep the human artistry at the center of whatever new normal this technology creates, it's difficult to determine how exactly this rapidly evolving tech is going to be changing the way we make films. All we know is that some sort of massive change is going to happen." In its current form, AI's big selling point to producers is that it can automate repetitive post-production processes, saving projects time and money. One example is rotoscoping, a process in which artists trace an actor or an object from live-action footage using software to use as the base for CGI work later in the process. Rotoscoping goes back to the earliest days of animation and has changed over the decades with the advancement of technology, but it still requires hours or even days of manual visual effects work. With AI, that work can be done in a fraction of the time. Even before AI became Hollywood's hottest button topic, some high-profile films had already taken advantage of that sort of automation. The team behind Best Picture Oscar winner Everything Everywhere All at Once used Runway AI to help rotoscope a climactic scene in which Michelle Yeoh and Stephanie Hsu's characters find themselves in an alternate universe where they're turned into rocks. Crew members with poles and a pulley system moved the rocks, and editors during post-production quickly removed the crew and pulley ropes with the help of AI rotoscoping. The visual effects team for Everything Everywhere All at Once consisted of just 7 artists on a film with a reported production budget of $25 million. But rotoscoping is just one process. It's a bigger leap for generative AI to fully produce the sort of CGI environments and characters that visual effects teams have been creating for more than 30 years at a professional blockbuster quality level. And for now, the software struggles to do those things without using copyrighted data. Quote, Disney or any other studio isn't going to touch any of this technology if the data isn't clean, Weaver said. It's too much of a liability. That is why training models to operate using clean data, source material that's legally cleared for use, is a top priority for AI companies. Clean data is data that's produced exclusively for use for AI, not stuff that they found on the internet or took out of any other copyrighted material. Although Disney, in their case, does happen to own a pretty big library, as do a lot of these studios, and they can use their own data to create new content. While that process is being developed, studios are building their potential AI usage around models that scrape exclusively from films, TV shows, and other material they already own. Lionsgate fired the first shot in September when it announced a partnership with Runway to create a customized generative AI model based on the studio's film and TV portfolio that could be used by filmmakers as part of the production process. Since it will pull its data exclusively from Lionsgate-owned material, the system will run on clean data and not run afoul of other studios' copyrights, according to the company. A week before Lionsgate's announcement, Disney jumped into the AI fray when it created a business unit led by Jamin Voris, its film studio's chief technology officer, to examine how it can integrate AI and augmented reality technology across the company's various divisions, including in film and TV production. How exactly Disney, Lionsgate, and other studios will adopt the technology into their production pipelines remains murkier. A studio like Lionsgate that produces many films at budgets below $20 million won't have the same needs as Disney, which devotes nearly all its film slate to top-dollar productions from studios under its umbrella like Lucasfilm and Marvel. Because of all of this, it makes it hard to predict which jobs in the visual effects sector will be the first to be rendered obsolete by AI, and when that will happen. AI's explosion comes as IATSE has expanded its campaign to unionize visual effects workers. The guild made a big public splash last year with a successful effort to unionize visual effects coordinators at Marvel Studios. Coordinators are only a fraction of the hundreds of visual effects artists that can work on an MCU blockbuster, with many coming from vendors like Framestore and Method Studios. AI's advancements have created concern among IASTE members across below-the-line positions that the technology will significantly reduce the number of crew members needed for any given project, reducing costs for studios, but stifling the amount of employment available to Hollywood's working class. Hollywood's working class is going to be hit really hard by AI. As we've already seen, the studios will move people to any part of the planet. They don't care. Wherever they can get the lowest production cost and get their project out, they will move that project. If they can use technology to do the same, they will do both. And the studios are running a business, and they're not really invested in the Hollywood community, and the community does have a lot of value, but only to the extent that the community can cost-effectively produce work that the studios can turn into money. This is why I expect a lot of this in comic books, in animation, in film, TV projects, video games, anything that uses human creativity and turns that into a commercial product is being affected right now by AI and will continue to be affected dramatically. That queasy mix of certainty of major change mixed with a deep uncertainty as to how it will unfold has made the issue of AI a sensitive one. 4 visual effects artists declined to speak on the record to the Wrap for this story, with some saying they were unsure how to talk about the oncoming AI wave. Others said they're quietly trying to learn the ropes of Runway, Midjourney, and other AI software to adapt to a changing industry, even if they resent the technology and fear it will make earning a living in visual effects less sustainable. I don't want to scare anybody, and I am no super expert. I'm not directly in the visual effects industry, but it does not appear at all like positions in this specific industry, especially visual effects, is sustainable. It's just really, how could it be? especially if you do like what the rotoscope tasking is. They already said they're not doing that position anymore in numerous productions. Quote, most artists are very wary about talking about this. The visual effects coordinator who spoke anonymously said, quote, nobody wants to talk about AI is going to help anything because it has or it's going to put their friends out of work. And nobody wants to say it's going to hurt workers because they're afraid it's going to cost them a job as well. But 3 experts consulted by the Wrap said the job casualties could be massive. On Marvel Studios' most recent film, Deadpool and Wolverine, 231 digital artists from Lucasfilm's Industrial Light and Magic were credited in the film's visual effects section, which also included hundreds more artists and staffers from Framestone, Barnstorm, WetFX, FaceFX, Reynolds FX, Lola, and Rising Sun Pictures. Quote, as more processes get automated more efficiently by software, expect those long credits to get shorter and shorter, one AI expert said, who asked to remain anonymous. Some industry veterans believe there's a potential for grassroots alternatives to form. Just as AI enabled the bare-bones visual effects team of Everything Everywhere All at Once to complete a critical scene in a fraction of the time expected, these optimists believe that tech could make it more accessible for independent productions to create the sort of production value in the visual effects work that once required thousands of artists across multiple vendors. And that's a major plus for the technology. When you bring down the costs of making productions, you can make more productions and the productions become more viable. The problem, though, is that the cost of these productions being reduced is because they don't give people jobs they otherwise would have had. Documentary producer and director Bryn Mooser said he founded AI production company Asteria with the vision of making an AI studio that keeps human creativity at its center. So far, he's hired more than 50 animators and visual effects artists whose resumes include Hanna-Barbera and Pixar, and he plans to hire more visual effects veterans in the future. Last month, Asteria also partnered with the research company Moon Valley to launch Marley, a new AI model that the studio says is the first built entirely on clean data. It is part of the company's vision of enabling filmmakers to use AI in an ethical way. Sure, it's ethical to use clean data. It's great to use clean data, and you're not taking anyone else's copyrighted material. But the problem, of course, is you are taking their jobs. And this is what's going to happen in AI. It's completely unavoidable. Well, think how YouTube democratized distribution and how smartphones made it possible to have film quality video in your pocket, Mooser said. We could reach a paradigm shift where independent film teams can make the sort of animation and visual effects heavy projects that right now can only be done with a budget that only studios can afford. The approach is similar to how voiceover production studios are offering actors control and compensation for use of their voice as a foundation for AI-generated dubbing. Quote, AI is only useful to productions no matter what the budget, as far as it helps the filmmaker's vision, Mooser said. Quote, you're always going to need experienced visual effects artists and coordinators working constantly with the software and with the director to make sure that they're getting the desired result. This isn't going to be a future where they fire all the visual effects people and the next Star Wars is done by a couple of guys in a basement. No, but it will be done probably with 90 to 95% less people than they otherwise would have used. And the people that are doing the work, the people that are the last few people that are still going to have jobs, are going to have a different skill set. Yes, they will still be expert artists and designers and production coordinators, but for the massive people that normally would have this kind of work, they're not going to have that work. If they are the top like 1% of those people, sure, if they can do all those jobs and they're good at networking and getting their name out there and meeting and knowing the right people, they'll still have work. But a lot of people won't. Still, even if AI enables a new wave of independent filmmaking that offers new opportunities to visual effects artists automated out of the old system they were trained in, it could take years for such a movement to develop. In the meantime, a largely non-unionized industry faces the question of how to adapt to the rapid changes that are about to unfold in post-production at a time when production outsourcing, rising living costs in Los Angeles, lingering financial strain from the strikes, and a decrease in greenlit productions by frugal studios are already limiting options. Quote, my strategy is just to adapt, learn everything I can about Sora and Midjourney, and all other kinds of software, the anonymous visual effects coordinator said. Until the studios start announcing their moves, it's the best I can do at this point. And that's absolutely correct. Getting educated on what people are actually using, what productivity those things can do, and having a good attitude is really the best that anybody can do that works in this industry. But AI is coming for Hollywood, all of Hollywood, and it's coming at it like a freight train. Let me know what you think of all this in the comments below. Always love to see your ideas. Please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again soon with another story. And if I don't see you, I will miss you.